I just want the finer things. Fuck a promise ring. My bitch want a diamond ring. It's a bullshit thing. Why the devil follow me? Why you follow me? Karma got it out for me. That's just my.
Alrighty, how are you guys doing today? My name is Desmond. I'm a mixed engineer with First Impression Engineering. Today, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on mixing or mastering. This is my first video, so I'm going to start off by giving you a heads up of what exactly you need to start your own recording studio at home. The bare minimum, entry level, whatever you want to call it, a studio on a budget. Um, Here at FIE, we have our own home-based studio. It's has pretty great equipment, but we also travel. We have a traveling studio as well, traveling equipment, acoustic gear, and it's pretty much barely above entry level. Um, Small monitors, a decent microphone, decent interface, very entry level interface. Anyways, I'm not gonna like bore you with all the technical stuff right at this moment, but for you guys who's working on a budget and you want to start recording at home, these are the steps you need to take. Um, I'm gonna write them down. A lot of people think that your microphone is um, your most important piece of equipment, but it is not. But let me start off by saying this: your most important piece of equipment, first and foremost, is going to be your audio interface. Um, an audio, if you don't know what that is, that's what you connect your microphone to before going into your computer, Mac, your PC, your laptop, um, whatever type of computer you're using. You need an interface. Why? Because computers have horrible sound cards. No matter how good your microphone is, your voice is going to be processed by a shitty 15-cent sound card and it's going to suck. Now, this right here is an audio interface. It's probably the best one um, for its price range. It sounds super professional, guys. It's used, it's about $600, $700. Brand new, it's about $1,000. It is top of the line, but it's cheap compared to the $10,000, $20,000 interfaces you find in professional, huge industry studios. But you get that super crispy industry sound with this interface. Now, this wasn't really for the budget people. It's just what I want you to strive for. This is what you really should have if you want great, great audio. Um, it does so much other than creating a crispy, clean sound. It does a lot when it comes to your plugins. You can actually use your plugins as outboard gear, and that's something big. That's some 2017 shit, man. It's 2018, but this can't. Um, you've been able to do this for at least a year now, but yes, it's pretty great, pretty great. We have this here at our studio. It's not um, in the traveling kit though. I'm gonna give you like a rundown of my recommendation for entry level interface for budgets, for people who are on a budget trying to start a studio. Okay, um, right now I have a Steinberg UR12. It is very entry level. I used to have this interface I'm typing in now, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It is around the same price range. They're both about $100, but the Scarlett sounds, the drivers, the converters, the preamp that's built in sounds a lot nicer. The UR12 is kind of an older model, so the Scarlett has more of a upgraded components inside of it. Um, like I said, it's $100 interface. It's very entry level, meaning it's not great sounding, but it sounds good. It's bare minimum. It's going to get you where you need to be. If you are on a budget and you can't afford over $100, this is the interface that I recommend. If you cannot afford over $100 for one piece of equipment, this is the interface I recommend. But like I said, if you can shoot for that Apollo, your interface is definitely the most important part of, well, piece of equipment I might say, that you need in your studio, and that's hands down. It colors and creates the ambiance that your mic is trying to create. You need that. Okay. Now that I'm done with that, the second most important thing that you're going to need is called a channel strip. A channel strip is three pieces of equipment in one. It's a microphone preamp, which is basically what boosts the mic frequencies and picks up all the details in your vocals without having to turn your interface up. Is key. It also comes with an outboard compressor. You have compressors in whatever studio DAW you use, studio program for recording. They usually have compressors and equalizers, etc., etc. But those are digital and they do not sound or compare to an outboard compressor. Last but not least, you have an EQ, an outboard EQ. I don't too much use mine, but hey, you can use that as well. Always EQ before compression. There's a, well, I'll type in the one I use. Um, this is as well as for the traveling studio equipment that I keep with me when I go and set up um, to record. I'm gonna I'm gonna give you the rundown of what you need. So the channel strip that I have is very entry level, maybe a little bit above entry level. I'd say everything I have is a little bit above entry level except for my interface, um, which is a mistake that I made. Your interface should probably cost more than everything else that you own. Anyway, the channel strip that I have is called the PreSonus Studio Channel. It's made by PreSonus, which is also uh, I love PreSonus. I use Studio One. Well, I use Reaper as well, but Studio One is my go-to DAW. I actually prefer it over Pro Tools. Um, Not knocking Pro Tools though. It has great, probably the best built-in plugins, stock plugins. But the PreSonus Studio channel, it's a great, for its price range. I feel like it's a great channel strip. It has a tube preamp that gives you that nice smooth tube sound or that distortion that you might want in your vocals when you're recording. The compressor gives it a pretty nice forward, um, present vocal. It beefs it up a little bit, makes it a little fat, a little nasty. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I said, I don't use the EQ, but hey, it's there for anybody who wants to use it. Everybody has their own different approach to mixing. But you have the VU meter in the middle, you know, just to let you know what your levels are, let you know if you're peaking, etc., etc. And it is rack mountable, which is great. Um, So that's the mic, that's the channel strip. That is the second most important thing that you will need, because you want your microphone to be boosted by your preamp before it goes into your interface. So your microphone will go into your um, channel strip preamp, and you see it in the back. Your microphone will go into your channel strip preamp, and then back out into your interface. And then your interface, especially if it is entry level, it will be connected to your computer or laptop via USB port. So pretty simple, guys. It's not hard. Um, Now let's get into the third most important thing, and we haven't even made it to the microphone. So many people think the mic is that important. It's semi important. Third most important thing is acoustic treatment. You need an acoustically treated room. You do not have to have um, soundproofing. That's for huge, very relevant studios that have been spent thousands on top of thousands of dollars for. You don't need that as long as your room is treated acoustically. Um, you will be fine. Like, for example, in our studio here at First Impression, we have a semi medium sized studio room. We have acoustic panels um, off all four of the all four of the walls surrounding you, as well as the ceiling, and the bottom, the floor is carpet. So you don't want the full room to be padded, because it's going to sound like dead air. You want some natural reverb in the room. You just want it to be controlled. A little absorption here and there, a little reflection here and there, get you the perfect ambiance when you're recording, especially for singers. Um, Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you travel? How The thing about traveling is, well, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to show you these panels first and explain, exactly how they work, and, the cost of them, because like I said, this is for you budget guys. Oh, before I even move on to that, the channel strip was $2.99. I got it used for $200 at Guitar Center, so that's as cheap as you're gonna find any type of channel strip. You're not gonna get one for less than 200. That's very entry level. Oh, this is the wrong. These are acoustic panels as well though, but these aren't the ones I'm looking for. Here they go. Okay, my computer has been moving kind of slow today. These are the acoustic panels I have, but I just have them in different colors. You see, those are two for $12.99. It's not that bad, but each wall needs four. So basically about $25, $26 um, a wall. And you're going to need basically six walls worth. So that's what, around $130. Now, there is a cheaper way, and this is what I was getting into when I was talking about my traveling, my mobile studio. As you can imagine, I cannot I can't put acoustic treatment on people's walls everywhere I go. On clients' walls everywhere I go. How am I supposed to do that without damaging the wall? Um, it's gonna take time. It's just a lot of different variables. It's gonna make people not want to even inquire about the services. They would rather come to your studio. This is what I use, and this is what I found to be a better option. Um, I actually have a piece of equipment that I use personally. It's called the Alcatron PF8. As you can see, it's a sphere. It well, really kind of like an octagon. It it's an acoustic ball. It's made from the same material as the acoustic panels, but it's a ball that surrounds the microphone. It's an acoustic environment made for the microphone. As you can see, it has the pop filter already. Um, it comes with it, so I don't even use a pop filter. I just use the one that's built in. It also focuses your vocals in that small space, so you get more of a full sounding, warmer vocal, which can be a bad thing if you have a very bassy microphone and a very bassy um, artist. But other than that, it's pretty much great. I love it. It's like I said, it's not soundproofing. It does the same thing as the panels, but it's only like $35, and that's what I use. That's what I love to use. It works great as long as you have um, a medium sized room. As you can see, what I type, the next thing is finally going to be the microphone. Um, Let me tell you why it's not as important as the other pieces of equipment. If you have an acoustically treated room, if you have a very nice sounding interface, and you follow that up with a nice sounding channel strip that complements that interface and that microphone, you are going to get a very, very nice sound, whether you have a um, I wouldn't say cheap, but entry level microphone or a professional microphone. And that's just that's just it. There's no getting around that. Um, for example, I myself have a $300 microphone. I spent $299 on it. It's pretty good. It's an Audix mic. You might not have heard of it because it's not very popular. I don't really go for the popular. I go for what works for me. Um, this microphone, I'm on it right now speaking. That's what I'm using for this actual video. It is very versatile. That's what I was looking for, because in a studio, especially a professional thousands of dollar type of studio, these engineers have multiple microphones for different artists, different instruments, things like that. It's always the best way to go. But if you are on a budget, you definitely can't spend a lot of money on all these different type of microphones. So the microphone I have, it was made to be versatile. Um, it's the Audix CX112B. It is versatile in the sense of it's great for singers. That's always a good thing. Great, because there's a lot of rap microphones, condenser microphones, that are great for rap, but not as good for singing. This is great for singers. If it's great for singers, it's going to automatically be good for rappers. Um, pop, R&B, soul. Only thing that it might not be perfect for is rock and roll. I just seem to think that dynamic microphones are a little bit better than condensers when it comes to uh, rock and roll. But in every other genre, I feel like this microphone is gonna rock out, and it's great on instruments. It picks up snares beautifully, um, down to flutes and trumpets. It's like I said, it's versatile. Anyways, it was $300. That's what I use in my traveling, my mobile studio. Um, it is, I would say, maybe the sixth or seventh mic I've had trying mics out. I would say, but like I said, there's always something that's entry level. This is just a little bit above, so there's something that's entry level for you guys who are on a budget. This is the AT 2020, Audio Technica 2020. In my professional opinion, it is the best entry level microphone. And if you have the same exact equipment that I have, it will do you great. It is a small diaphragm condenser microphone, and it has a flat response. What that means is most microphones are colored. Even mine, my Audix is colored. Colored means they add a boost on the highs or the mids, or they might cut on the lows. You know, they color it, they mold it so that it can make your voice sound better. But that doesn't always work, because if they boost the highs and your voice is already high, then it's not going to sound good, if you can catch my drift. A flat response microphone like this means it captures your voice honestly. It doesn't add or cut anything. I loved it when I had it. I would still use it even though I have a little bit nicer microphone. I love to use this microphone, and it's only $99. If you go to Guitar Center or any um, place like that, you could probably find it used for $70. Next would be monitors. I kind of fight with myself, and maybe they should be before the microphone, but no, because you need the microphone to record. The monitors are basically studio speakers. One thing you do not want to do in a studio is you do not want to record and play back. You don't want to play back with computer speakers ever. You don't want to use surround sound speakers with a subwoofer either. Um, Remember, I was just talking about coloration with the microphones and flat response, the difference between the two. The same thing applies with monitors and speakers. Regular speakers are called consumer speakers. They're for listeners, not for engineers. Regular speakers, consumer speakers, are colored. They add coloration to make songs sound better. Monitors or studio speakers are flat. They have a flat signal, meaning it doesn't make anything sound better. It sounds honest. It shows exactly what's there. You hear exactly what's in that mix. So if there's a frequency that pops out, a bad frequency that pops out, you can cut that. If it's a good one that's not popping out enough, you can boost that. But if you are using colored speakers, you will never honestly be able to hear these frequencies like you should. So when you're mixing, you're gonna mix horribly. If you mix, if you have a good mix, it's gonna be it's gonna be a fluke. It's not gonna be right. Anyways, these are the monitors I recommend. The KRK Rockets. They're one of my favorite. Um, a little bit above entry level. Um, they get very loud. They have a very clean response. They're pretty good. I love these speakers. We have those and a set of JBLs um, in our main studio. But like you see, the price tag is $250. Not too bad. It's not great. It's not too bad. Um, like I said, get them if you can. Get them. I recommend it. Get them. The bigger your space, the bigger the speakers. The smaller your space, you don't need big speakers. Simple. These are medium size. They kind of fit in a smaller space or a semi larger space. You don't want them in a very small space though, and you don't want them in a very big space either. Um, all in all, they sound pretty great though. And now, back to my budget people. If you are on a budget and you definitely are looking to spend $100 on everything that you possibly can, other than the things that you can't, like the channel strip, you can't spend 100 on that. Period. I'm sorry. I wouldn't spend 100 on the mic, but I gave you one you could spend 100 on. I wouldn't spend 100 on the interface, but I gave you one you could spend 100 on. I'm trying to work with you guys because I know how it is. And these are things that I actually have in my mobile studio, and they work for me. I get industry level mixes and recordings with these, but at the same time, I know what I'm doing. It's gonna take you guys a while to get that with that equipment. It's gonna be harder. You're gonna have to work, learn, watch my tutorials. I will have mixing tutorials. Um, so these are the monitors I use in my mobile studio. As you can see, if it ever loads. On here they're only $59. I spent $100 on them, but whatever. Right here they're only $59.99. Super cheap, under $100. Um, make sure you get their Samsung Media One M30s. Make sure you make sure it says M30 because they also have them in consumer speakers and they look the same. But there's a difference between monitors, M30s, and consumer media ones. Um, they're very small. They're maybe not even half the size of the KRK Rockets. They're small. They're very handheld, um, but they get very loud as well. They sound great. Their monitors. I haven't had any people complain, especially people who've been using huge, like expensive monitors. Like I haven't had any problems with these. I will say one thing: the KRKs, I mean, are better quality wise. They get louder. Um, they fill the room a little bit better. Not even loudness, but just in your face, and it's easier to mix on them. But like I said, budget wise, get these. They will work for you. So everything else is like little things that you should know that you need if you have um, researched anything, which you should always research whatever you're trying to do. Pop filters. If you get the Alcatron PF8, you don't need it. Mic stand. You can get a cheap one for $20, but I recommend a boom stand. It's a lot better, especially for tall people. Stay away from cheap XLR cords. Leave them alone. That's all I gotta say about that. Leave them alone. Spend at least $50 on your XLR cords. You won't regret it if you get them from Guitar Center. There's a lifetime warranty. If they break, you can always take them back and get some for free. You do not need a mixer. It is 2018. Them shits are just for show. You don't need them. You have a digital mixer in your DAW, whether it's Pro Tools, Reaper, Studio One, Cubase, I don't care what you use, there is a mixer there. Get wireless headphones. You're not going to regret it. Get them. Use them. Charge them. Make sure they stay charged. Get a couple pair if you have to. Get them. Noise canceling. Make sure you're not bleeding. You don't want them to bleed into the microphone. That will mess up your recording. I don't care how good. You can have $10,000 equipment, man. Bleeding is going to ruin your recording. Make sure everything is professional as possible if you want the outcome you're looking for. But yep, that budget is about $1,000. I spent $1,000 on my mobile studio. That is nothing. It's when it comes to like the price of a studio. And that, believe it or not, that $1,000 includes my laptop. I have an HP Envy. It cost me $300. So equipment wise, if you already have a nice laptop, it's really only around $600 roughly, under $1,000. But I added the laptop in there for a reason. You may need a better laptop. And that's just, you need something with a fast processing speed, something that has a nice amount of RAM and ROM. But that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Stay tuned, subscribe, and like. And I'll holler at you later.
Worse than my bald nigga. In the fish tank, I'm a shark nigga. Can't give a girl my heart nigga. Mama told me be smart nigga. Jack is out like every night. They'll play you left if you look right. Eyes open like satellites, so don't try to fucking play me right. Bite worse than my bald nigga. In the fish tank, I'm a shark nigga. Can't give a girl my heart nigga. Mama told me be smart nigga. Jack is out like every night. They'll play you left if you look right. Eyes open like satellites, so don't try to fucking play me right.
Niggas say you about to run now. Chopper bullets having fun now. Fuck a high horse, nigga, come down. Fuck a high horse, nigga, come down. Yeah. Got the AR on the seat. Ain't no account of hundreds. 5 bands, I 20s. Yeah, you know I get money. 412 for the police. Fuck a nigga if he owe me. Y'all niggas so lonely. Make sure the money not lonely.